Well, Israel's military began its raid on the hospital in the early hours of Wednesday morning. Let's take a closer look at what we know about the timeline of events. Around 20:12 GMT, that was just past midnight local time, the spokesman for the Gaza Health Ministry told Al Jazeera that Israeli military vehicles were at the gate of the al-Shifa medical complex. By then, the hospital had already been surrounded by Israeli forces for 6 days. Then, at around 23 GMT, Palestinian health officials say that the Israeli military told them that a raid would be carried out in the coming minutes. And then at 5 past midnight GMT, Israeli forces tweeted that they were, quote, carrying out a precise and targeted operation against Hamas in a specified area in the hospital based on intelligence information and operational necessity. Now, in the hours that followed, Israeli forces detained at least 200 people in the courtyard of the complex. They went to the basement of all the buildings. They ransacked the hospital and destroyed equipment. According to al-Shifa's director, speaking to Al Jazeera, that doctors couldn't go to the pharmacy because anyone who moved throughout the complex risked getting shot. Let's go to Hani Mahmoud, who is now live for us in Khan Younis inside the Gaza Strip. So, Hani, once again, it's very difficult to find out exactly what is happening at al-Shifa and the very latest. What are you hearing?
Yes, well, that is true. It is very difficult to get the latest from inside the hospital. But what we know as a fact that a little over 24 hours after the raid just started, there are no substantiated evidence whatsoever of the Israeli claims that a Shifa hospital as a health facility is used as a command center by Hamas elements, or it's a command center for Hamas leadership. All of that came to basically baseless claims. But what also we know as a fact that as a result of that failure, intelligence failure, what the Israeli military is doing is destroying the hospital, damaging all of its facilities, going in building by building, destroying all of its properties inside. For example, the specialized surgeries building have been completely destroyed from inside. All of its basement, where the basement that houses a medical warehouse where they have all the medicine and all the medical equipment. All the upper floors of that building been destroyed, including patient rooms, including beds, including all equipment, X-ray department being completely destroyed. 200 people being rounded up, interrogated, stripped of their clothes at the courtyard of the hospital and taken to unknown areas. The fate of those 200 people from evacuees and the medical team there is unknown to us and to anyone else in the hospital. What seemed to be is a reaction of the Israeli military inside the hospital, as they could not provide. The world was watching for a piece of evidence, but that did not happen at all. So as a result, a retaliation or reaction to that, they went on damaging and severely destroying the properties of the hospital right now. What happened as of the early hours of this morning, there was a redeployment of the Israeli military along with their tanks and armored vehicles around the main gate of the hospital.
And Hani, we are also hearing reports that Gaza is on the brink of a power blackout because of fuel shortages. What are you hearing about that?
Yes, well, this is what has hospitals been warning of for the past weeks, since the first week of the war, that the lifeline of the Gaza Strip is a fuel. Now, food is important, medical supplies are important, but fuel is the major lifeline of those hospitals and every other service companies or service facilities running in the Gaza Strip. Now, hospitals here in the southern part are warning of shutting down services by the end of the day, maximum by early tomorrow's morning. There won't be any services as they run out of their fuel reservation that they had kept here in the hospital and kept it running for the past months or so. Also, other than hospitals, we have telecommunication company Paltele Group announced by the end of the day, Thursday, Gaza will go in a complete blackout. It will be taken off the grid of communication as well as internet as a result of lack of fuel to run its power generators to generate power to the batteries that are keeping those major telecommunication divisions across the Gaza Strip. Without those batteries, as they deplete, we will go off the line in the coming hours. That's what is going on. And all of this happening under renewed airstrikes here in the southern part of the Gaza Strip, a place that, a reminder to our viewers, what people were asked to move to because it is safe, but it's not safe. It's equally dangerous, equally risky to everyone, not only the people who live here, but for evacuees who came from the north and the Gaza city.
Okay, thank you for that update. Hani, Mahmoud there for us in Khan Younis.